We're about to dive into something seriously delicious today, and I have a simple recipe to share with you, and it's all about that homemade beef teriyaki goodness. So here's the lineup for today's lovely beef teriyaki recipe, and I have a lovely cut of beef here, which is skirt steak. You can use any of your favorite cuts too. Then we have soy sauce, that's some Japanese light soy sauce. Then we have mirin and sake, both being a Japanese fermented rice wine, with mirin being that sweet rice wine, whereas sake has more alcohol content. Then we have some brown sugar and some cornstarch, and we have a clove of garlic and 1 spring onion. So let's skip the drama and get to the meat of the matter. Now get your steak and season it with some salt and pepper. And I'll just get some vegetable oil onto that steak. Then just heat up a pan over medium-high heat. When the pan's nice and hot, drop in your steak to get a really nice crust over it. Pan's started to smoke, that's telling me it's nice and hot, so I'll drop the steak in. And just listen to that sizzle, that's music to my ears. While that steak is browning, I'm just gonna start mincing a clove of garlic, which I'll be using for the teriyaki sauce, and then I'll just slice some of that spring onion, which I'll be using for the garnish. So that steak is ready. I'm just gonna take it off the pan and just let it rest while I whip up the teriyaki sauce. Bearing in mind, resting your steak is absolutely crucial to getting a nice juicy steak, because when you let it rest, you give it time to absorb all those juices, so when you cut into it, you won't end up with a pool of blood. Now on to the next part. So in the same pan, I'm adding the minced garlic and just a dash of vegetable oil. Then in with the soy sauce. And again, this is a light soy sauce. And the sake, and next the mirin. And I'll just give it a stir, and that soy sauce with the sake and the mirin is also going to deglaze the pan and all those goodness from the beef that was left in there. And then I'll add in some soft brown sugar. And then let's thicken up that sauce. So I've got some corn flour here, which I'll be mixing with some water, and then we'll just add that to the sauce. And just pour that into that sauce, and then just stir it like you're making a masterpiece. And as you can see, that is the consistency you want to be getting. At this point, you want to get that beautiful steak and give it a nice glaze with that teriyaki sauce. And those resting juices from the steak go into the sauce. Just a couple of minutes in there, just make sure you flip it a few times to get a really nice glaze on both sides, and then we'll be ready to serve up. That steak is nicely glazed, and we're just now ready to serve up. So I'm just going to cut this on the bias into thin strips, And I'll just serve it over some steamed rice. And just add a little bit more of that teriyaki sauce over the beef. Garnish it with some sesame seeds and some spring onions. And here we have some steamed broccoli for a little bit of crunch and freshness. Ladies and gentlemen, cooking's all about having fun and making it your own. So give it a go, and if you want more tasty stuff like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll be seeing you in the next one really soon. Until then, look after yourselves and remember, the secret ingredient is love.